Hello, overloaders. Thank you for joining us. We have Seahawks preseason week 2 reactions. We've watched the coaches tape. We may even bring the coaches tape up on stream live with you guys. And we'll be able to answer your questions. Good to see all of you in the chat. Sorry that we're a bit delayed getting going. Um, I'm just catching up with the chat now. Ben, that's an inappropriate question. I'm going to star the ones that are appropriate, and we'll try and answer them when we actually get the preamble out of the way. But Griff, I've been watching this show called, I don't know if you've heard of it. I don't know, like we recently got this thing called Disney Plus in the UK, and there's like a couple of shows on there that, like, there's this thing called The Bear, which is it's
Yeah.
fine. It's kind of stalled in the like after the first season essentially, but it's kind of
Okay.
you're invested, so you kind of got to finish it.
hmm
And then there's a few like children's films on there, but there's and like children's TV shows and stuff. But there's this one called Andor, which is like a
Oh,
Star Wars based thing, but
sure.
it kind of Star Wars. I can I can give or take it,
It's
but
kind of beneath you, right? It's
no, I don't
like here.
no.
If Maddie's here,
Mm.
Star Wars is like right in this region, right?
No.
Oh,
I think that's unfair on Star Wars. It's
mm,
more like I'm just so mature that
right.
yeah, it's not like being above something. It's being older than something. Like
Mm.
you grow
So
out of things.
yeah, so it's
Uh,
it's not a qualitative statement. It's just more like you're in a different stage of life right now, and you're looking for other things.
sure. However, this show it just looked kind of more gritty and real. So I was like, I'll dip my toes in. So I'm actually really enjoying it, and I know you like Star Wars, Griff, and that's more your thing and your vibe. So maybe you should check it out.
Okay, well, I'll make note of that, and I'll check out Andor. It's called Andor.
Uh,
What?
I think it's just Andor.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but I love the
Um,
first season. Season 2, episode 2, I've gone through now.
See, I
The co-
told you you'd like it, Maddie. Come on. I'm 2 for 2 on recommendations that you've actually followed through and watched. Master and Commander, Andor. You love that shit.
yeah, you're not
Um,
wrong. You're not wrong.
uh,
Yeah, no, I am enjoying it.
so
But
it's
the
it's
second
it's
season's kind of started a bit like it's it's they're building things up again. They're plot
keep
building.
right,
So
right. Keep watching. So do you like the story structure, the 3 episode arc
yes, that's
stuff?
very
Yeah,
cool. Very
yeah.
cool. And I really like Luthen. He's a cool character.
I love Luthen, isn't he great? Stellan
Yeah,
Skarsgård, man. He makes everything better.
facts.
Um, and like even though Andor is the main character and he's great in it, it really should just be called like Revolutionaries or something because they're all the characters are so rich
Yeah, very
and Maddie,
complicated.
I'll say yeah, very complicated. You get a little bit more illumination in season 2, and the dynamics between the characters in season 2 is like some of the best stuff ever put on screen.
Well,
Seriously,
so
so
right now
keep
I'm on the
watching.
verge of like Tay going up to Mon Mothma and being like talking through like his financial issues,
Is
and
that
that's
when he's
gonna
like sloshed at the party?
yeah, and he's getting like messy drunk. So
Yeah,
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 I can't wait. It's gonna be a good one.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Good
So
stuff.
good job there, Griff. Well done. You recommended to me the yeah, two good things, and also clinics wise, you're pretty good at recommending football clinics to watch. The ones you recommend tend to hit. So
What clinics have I recommended to you? If anything, it's the other way around.
oh no.
Oh, you mean the most recent one? But I
Well,
that
that was a
told you
good one.
stuff you
I
already
think
know, though.
the Pete Jenkins stuff way back,
Oh, true,
way back. I think you found that. I think you
true,
dug that out.
true,
Yeah,
true. All right, I'll accept the compliment then. And like I
you
know it's
better.
hard. I know it's hard for you to do, giving me credit. So thank
No,
you for
well,
that, Maddie.
hold on now. I think you gave yourself credit.
Um, Look, I take compliments for what they are. Okay. OG3 asks, is Andor watchable if you're a complete Star Wars noob or not really? Well, Maddie, you're a Star Wars noob, so you can answer this.
See, also, I strongly reject that premise. Like, I love Star Wars, but I don't like to talk
Hold
about it
on.
too much.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. So it's a long I for you in premise? Premise?
Well, I honestly I don't know anymore because I'm so used to code switching. Like, sometimes I just butcher words because I don't know how
Because you interact
to
with so
say
many
them anymore. Yeah.
Americans. Yeah. No, I like the way you said it. It sounded more like
Premise.
it sounded scholarly. It
Mm.
was. I was gonna even say academic, but no, like another step above that. You know how you're like above Star Wars, like you're even above academic. You're
No, no,
scholarly.
no, no, no.
So I liked how you.
I've just outgrown.
Anyway, hit it, Maddie. We got
We hitting it.
football to talk about.
But OG3, I'd suggest yes. It's not too inaccessible. It's a bit weird though. It's a bit sci-fi at times, you know. Also,
What's the
Griff, what's
point?
up with all the
It's
blaster?
hold
Like,
on
why can't? What is it? Just the Star Wars trait that they can't shoot people? Like,
with
people are running away, point blank range, blaster rifle, or just as you call it, a gun. Like,
and they
just
miss.
shoot them, shoot, and they miss like 100 times in any
Um,
scene.
I would say keep watching season 2. You might
Oh,
find a stormtrooper with some aim for once.
nice. That's real. That's so gritty. I love that.
It's all in the service of plot. So, um,
Oh,
I what
Henry's.
actually
Mm,
there is a lore based explanation for why you see so many missed shots. So the original stormtroopers were supposed to be. Are you okay? Buckle your seatbelts. All right, this is going to get real nerdy. The original stormtroopers were supposed to be the elite core of like Vader's army, right? The one that he leads
correct.
around. So those guys were good. But then the whole point is that as the empire grew in its reach, standards come down, and the rank and file soldier is not as well trained and
Yeah.
is less competent. So when they actually run into real troops, which again you see in season 2, shit starts to hit the fan a
Spoiler.
little bit.
Also, it was the rebels who were doing some bad shooting in this
Well,
season.
but they're undertrained because they're rebels. They're not.
It's just a gun. You just point and shoot. You know.
What scene? What scene was this?
There's a couple of scenes. I don't want to spoil it for people. We can
All
talk
right,
about this off air.
all right, hit it,
All
Maddie.
right. Henry donated money, which is not really relevant to the show, but is much appreciated.
It's very kind,
Um,
Henry.
Henry, that was a Stonewall penalty. Let's be honest. Like Gabriel's just wiped him out. I mean, what are we doing here? But that's good that the Spanish Tony Pulis is cooking. I'm happy for you. Thanks for your money as well. Right, are we gonna do this thing?
If only someone would hit it.
Welcome to the Seattle Overload podcast, where for the second time this preseason, Griff and I have watched the All 22, and that means we've watched All 22, the coach's film of the Seahawks' home win over the Kansas City Chiefs. We've watched the offense, we've watched the defense, we have already organized our key topics, and Griff, before we get into our key topics, we have some Seahawks news to address that is very important for the prospects of this team, the prospects of this defense specifically, because Uchenna Nwosu has returned to practice. Mike McDonald, when he was asked about this maybe a couple of months ago, was uncertain whether he'd be ready for week 1. So the fact that Uchenna's practicing, he's been activated off PUP, Griff, this is major news. The outside backer whose best football arguably came in 2022 when he was a key feature of the defense, but the data that you found, Griff, on the Seahawks defense's performance with and without Chenna, the on-off splits, was pretty stark even in 2024 last season. And it just makes them have guys like Chenna, Derek Hall, Boye Mafe. They've got some serious depth there, along with DeMarcus Lawrence acquired this offseason.
Yeah, getting Nwosu back is huge. This hedges against the regular attrition, but that you might experience and endure over the course of a season. But he's such an important player. He fixed so many run issues. Even if even if the pass rush never comes back after all these injuries, it's still worth it because he's just a problem solver. The team is better with him on the field, so this is very good news that they're getting him back this early, because there was some thought that, of course, it could have been later on in the season. So a great way to start the season, especially with the 49ers week 1.
Another great way for the Seahawks to start the season was the way that their offensive line, particularly the first string drift, performed in the preseason game.
Yeah, man. I mean, they absolutely slaughtered the Chiefs. The Chiefs pulled most of their starters after the first series, but they still had their primary rotators in there for the first 2 or 3 drives, really through most of the first quarter and a little bit into the second, and they just absolutely dominated them. Like everybody dominated. Like Josh Jones looked like he could start. So I mean, and also the Chiefs, like, I don't know what was going on at their end. They looked deplorable. But so you have to account for a little bit of, like, this isn't 1-to-1 translatable, but you can still take so much from this. Questions were answered. Some things were confirmed about what we thought we already knew about some of these guys. Like Gray Zabel's really good. Jaylen Sundell, that potential that has always been there, came to fruition a little bit. Or not a little bit, quite a bit. Anthony Bradford looks like he can hang in an outside zone scheme, right? Abe Lucas' mobility is there and his play strength is there. Again, like, the Chiefs made it easy for them in the sense that they didn't throw out any varied looks at all. It was very repeatable pictures for the offense. But, that question of, like, the reason why we value continuity so much is because you don't hurt yourself, you hurt yourself less. So those self-inflicted wounds that any group will have, however good a group ends up being, you have to get rid of shooting yourself in the foot first. So, like, how long do I need to stay on this combo? What's my aiming point? Do I climb to the right guy or the wrong guy? Things of that nature. Is my initial footwork right? Compared, is my hand placement right? Before you can do all those things and still not block the guy, but it's like you have to do all those things first before you can block anybody, right? And perform as a unit. So they took care of like 99% of the stuff that was in their power, which is so hugely important, because so many units, it takes week 4, 5, 6, and then you see what they're capable of. So the sooner they can clear that up earlier in the season, the quicker we can actually see what their real potential is. So it's like they're way, way ahead of schedule.
Yeah, well, I mean, when they hired Clint Kubiak and they brought in John Benton, who's like a veteran offensive line coach, the expectation from me and I think yourself as well was just a baseline level of competency that would benefit this team. Like, the offensive line would massively benefit from that. Something's happening with the feedback on your end, or maybe it's just my earphones.
Is it my fan?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's your fan. Chat, if you heard that, let me know and let us know, please. And then
How is it now? Can you hear me now?
I mean, it was fine. It was just like like a crackle.
Oh. Why has this tickled you so much? Like, why is it so funny to you?
It's just funny. Like, chat heard it. See, it's better
All right.
now.
All right. I have
I
no
don't
idea.
understand why your fan's such. It was fine and then it's not fine.
All right. Let me put the fan on, see what happens. Are we
don't.
good?
I think.
Is it back?
No, it just appeared. Like, I don't know what you did, but it appeared.
Okay. Maybe I smacked my microphone.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay, fine. I'll stop.
Okay. Right. So yeah, Benton competency was the expectation, and I think it's funny because, like, drawing a parallel with the 49ers, right? Sometimes you look at their offensive line on paper and you're like, that's not very good. And then they come out, and when those teams can run the ball effectively, oh my word, they're pretty damn dominant, and the offensive line looks pretty damn good. Occasionally they get in spots where they get exposed, particularly when they are unable to run the ball, or they get in more of the clear passing down situations. But when they're ticking, this offense can really tick, and it's so nice to see those expectations, those hopes for Benton's arrival and what Kubiak's bringing actually materialize. Like, this is now back-to-back weeks where the Seahawks' first string offensive lines come out and they look to have surprised the defense they're going up against. The Raiders was a case of them not securing the edge properly, and the Seahawks reading that out as they ran their wide plays and adjusting on the fly accordingly and hitting off tackle as was designed. But this game was even more complete domination. I mean, we can bring up the film, and there's like 8 consecutive run plays or running back carries, at least, because there was the tush push from Milro that we can talk about a bit later. But the 8 consecutive running back carries, they just are dominant. The gaps for the NFL level are crazy. And Griff, to your point, obviously, if this was a regular season game or even a postseason game, as we've seen with Spagnuolo going up against the 49ers in the Super Bowl, you would expect a much more catered, better executed, designed game to stop some of these rushing concepts. That said, the building chemistry that you spoke about, Griff, and just the kind of dominant performance from the line is so exciting. And you've got I'm really pleased for Jaylen Sundell, because last week I was saying he's really athletic, but he's kind of whiffing on blocks, and he had these moments where he's really struggling. He just didn't play very well. But this week, wow, he played fantastic. What a great performance from him.
Yeah, on Jaylen, his get off is insane. His ability to get front side on a one technique is just crazy. And then, but not to just get horizontal leverage, but then to not lose depth, not to lose ground. So many one techniques get it reached initially, but they have control of the block and they can work through the center or work back over the top. That's what happened to him against Vegas last week. And then this game, he held ground. So the play strength was there. And the other thing is, like, kind of going back to the Chiefs not playing well, but when a unit plays poorly against you, really good units take full advantage of that. And so there's times where, you've got stretch and you're one technique and the play is to your left and your left foot is up. You're bringing your right foot up. And Mike Pennell is making like kind of a horizontal power step against the grain. When you read that angle of departure, go wide to your left, you need to get vertical. And so when that one technique is stepping wrong with the wrong footwork, Sundell like absolutely just jumped on him like a piranha, like totally took advantage of it. So stuff like that. I think where the blocking was a little more I guess here, they didn't block their gap scheme stuff as well. And that was when it's less about speed off the ball and more about just kind of displacement. Mm-hmm. And that was when they weren't able to create quite as much room, where it's just kind of mass versus mass and leg drive versus leg drive. So clearly this unit, for the most part, looks to be a finesse unit. But it was also cool to see gap scheme change-ups from Kubiak as well.
Yeah, so on that point, Griff, like Sundell in particular, he's probably not as good as we saw in this past game, and he's probably not as bad as the Raiders game. It's more a case of he's going to struggle in those instances where he's truly on an island, he's truly having to play one-on-one, or he's really relied on to be that displaced guy without having his, quick chip and then climb to the second level as fast as possible, accenting his agility and stuff, and where just situations where play strength becomes a bigger deal. So for Benton and Kubiak, and they'll be very well aware of this, it's a good thing that their scheme, is predominantly going to do, the strengths of Sundell's game, but then also they need to find ways to keep giving him help. And when he has help, like particularly in this game, his chemistry with Zabel, I know they've played before, but his chemistry with Zabel was really shining. The way that they were knowing at what point that Sundell could climb to the second level after getting rid of the nose to Zabel, and even I think some stuff with Bradford. So, chat, we have the tape to watch. So let me just bring it up. That's not how we do that, is it?
It's not the Matty F. Brown show anymore. Oh,
no, phew. You see what happened there? That was almost a disaster. Nearly lost control. Here we go. Now, hopefully this isn't too laggy. My laptop seems to be struggling at the moment. Thoughts and prayers and all that stuff. That's fine, isn't it? Yeah. We don't even need this is the copy that we'll be enjoying most of the time. So we'll look at the 8 first rounds that I referenced. Obviously, chat, you guys know this, but this is Jones, this is Zabel, this is Sundell, this is Bradford, this is Lucas, and then Barnes, the first string tight end. Robbie Oots doing real good work at fullback. Kubiak used 2 wide receiver sets on 67% of his snaps last season, and it looks like that's going to continue in Seattle.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead, Griff.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Well, having like 2 types more guys who do their best work in the slot in JSN and Cooper Cup, this tight split stuff and how you kind of make that work and how often you can make that work rather than playing MVS over one of the other guys, more of a pure X, that's something to monitor as well.
Yep. So 21 personnel I formation, like you said, Chiefs match with their 4-3. They are in a over front when their nose is in the guard, so he's like a head up 2 technique. So I formation, they run zone left, right? Zone weak.
Mm-hmm.
And this ends up hitting in the C gap crease, the cutback. What I like about this is you've got it hits backside, and there's no there's kind of a combo, but I guess what I'm saying is both Bradford and Lucas, they kind of are just working a 1-on-1, and they just wash the guy down.
They wash the guy down totally, right?
Yeah.
They get under his pads. They get real nice pad level and displacement there while moving laterally.
You see how the just real quick, the fullback, how it pulls the linebacker's front side.
Yeah.
So that means the backside of the D line cannot lose because they have no one to fall back.
Yeah, see how they're triggering on that fullback. I liked Sundell as well here. After snapping the football, he checks inside that this guy's not going to cross back in here and that there's not any help needed. And then he knows that this is just the system as well, but he knows that the fullback's got this guy, so he knows how to climb up to this guy. And then that's quite a tricky block because, remember, they end up cutting it back here, right? So it's pretty good work to be able to almost seal this guy out in the end, if you watch how Sundell climbs up to that backer.
Mm-hmm. Also, the use of the fullback. So if you go back to pre-snap, so because you have a fullback forming the extra gap in the math, you can choose which linebacker is out leveraged by the offensive lineman as a free climb. So in this case, Sundell. So by running to the left and you look at Sundell's horizontal leverage relative to the mic to 43,
yeah, he
just has to hold his pre-snap alignment, which not every center can do, but it still makes it easier on him because the fullback controls which direction the linebacker has to go.
Right, like it'd be pretty tricky for them to do this and want to cut back, right? Like that's not happening, is it?
Yeah. So it's just the problems that a 2-back can present for the defense.
For sure. And Sundell was climbing to the second level when he got the opportunities against the Raiders, but he was just whiffing in the open field blocks. Jamal Adams Olayed him a couple of times. So it was really nice to see him actually, finish play. And I'm sure he'd have been disappointed in that first game. And Charbonnet was good. Like, he was quite patient at, setting this up, pressing the line, and one cutting and going. But any back, can hit stuff like this.
The blocking was so good that it was almost hard to evaluate the running backs.
Yeah, and just on a general point, as I said, this offense will really zoom when they run the ball for however many yards per carry they were doing, right? It's on easy mode. I mean, any offense will in general, but this offense in particular, given how important run action is to their base mode, they never really had to get out of their base mode. So it makes evaluating the rest of the offense, obviously the first time seeing Sam Darnold, seeing Cooper Kupp, seeing JSN, with Kubiak as the OC, it makes evaluating all that stuff kind of tricky, along with it being a small sample size. we didn't really see. They were so good at just run and even screen stuff that it didn't matter. So
Mhm.
Griff, is this a gap concept? No. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's counter,
Yeah. So to Griff's
under
point.
center counter.
Hmm. So you can see here how Sundell, he's never going to be, it's always going to be either a stalemate or like trying not to lose too bad when it comes to like down blocking a guy, that type of tighter phone booth stuff we were talking about, where, and you know, Zabel does a great job of kind of helping drive, finish that block for his teammate.
Yeah. And this run goes for 4 yards, so it's not. Charbonnet makes a good read to bounce this quickly.
Yeah, and it's still. I mean, in an ideal world, right? They're hoping that this first pull doesn't get spilled. Bradford gets caught up with this, but in an ideal world, they're hoping to go here, right?
Yeah,
Um,
they're trying to hit the crease inside the C gap.
yeah, but it's still
But
like a
but
pretty decent area to hit. Like that's
right.
still not the worst case scenario, right?
And because you're running this to a 3-man surface or a 4-man surface, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, can
Yep.
I count?
One,
That's
two, three.
yeah, a 3-man surface.
Creating four though, really, with this, right?
Creating 4. But my point is that you've got like a D gap, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that means that Barner's extra kind of hinge block is or more of a base block. Anyway, I can't remember who ends up blocking,
I think he
but
leaves that guy unblocked, right? Oh no.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But like, good job.
Oh yeah. So releasing to the mic, he gives it extra width,
Mm-hmm.
allowing for Charbonnet to correct Bradford.
Yeah. And what goes wrong here? It's just a tough block on for Jones to wash that out. Like that
Hmm.
penetration's annoying because it bashes the first pull,
Yeah.
or bubbles the first pull a bit. But yeah, decent. That's decent job from Charbonnet pressing and then hitting the opening, and it's still like a very solid run, right? For 4 yards, you take a
Hmm.
4 yard run. Here's this tight split to the offense. We can probably talk about this another time, but and then Milro tush push is a different factor. But let's go back to the run game. So interesting front here choice. What was the down this 1st and 10? Interesting that they just wanted to come out in this look. Which again, preseason they're trying to get different looks for their guys.
Hmm.
The Seahawks also not in their 21 personnel. That's 11, right? As
Yep. 11.
with Bobo and Arroyo, not really what you'd think of as a the rush package necessarily.
Hmm. But the fact that they're still able to, and what do? They play to their strengths, which is get really wide and making sure your auxiliary blockers can get out into
Get
space,
out
and
in space,
they're not part of like the inline
right?
blocking, except for Bobo a little bit. But
Like a lot of Arroyo's stuff that we liked on tape was when he was arc sort of releasing, getting out in
hmm.
space, as Griff said. Look at Sundell here to be able to just beat that guy to the spot and then lock out like that.
Hmm. And that's Cochrane, I think. Man, the Chiefs' backup linebackers were so bad.
Yeah, so context here is like obviously there's no Chris Jones, right?
Right? No Chris Jones. But look at Lucas move. Like that's all. Like that snap is confirmation of how mobile he is now.
Yeah, yeah. Like wow, keep the feet running through the contact as well.
Hmm.
And again, if you're like the key block here is Bobo to he kind of loses, but just he does enough to enable Charbonnet to hit this edge.
Hmm.
And
And Charbonnet paces out Lucas's block really well and is
yeah,
super clean off the hip to cut it up.
Yeah, which again, like it was tough to eval the backs given how good their opportunities were, but I felt Charbonnet was really good at tempoing it out.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the JSN in the flat? No. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And again, like when the run games cook in, you get
So the reverse orbit motion or the orbit return motion is crazy. Like, that's diabolical because you already have flat control via the running back.
right.
Because it's, what is it, quarters to that side?
I don't know if it's yeah, it's probably 4, right? And this guy's looking for like this type of route here. So really, to cover this, they'd have to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, crazy. All right, so gun running is something like Kubiak's
Yeah,
offense. We spoke about how he's able to be diverse within like his personnels. Now this is 11, but he might do this out of 12 as well, and 21. But Griff, you're a big proponent of gun running for balance.
yeah. Because out of shotgun, it helps protect Darnold a little bit when they're in shotgun, making the defense think about the run. Also lets you access your play action menu from shotgun as well. Um, Provided it's not just like an accent to what they do out of shotgun. Like if they choose to spend more time in shotgun than anticipated, then hopefully they run a little bit so that they can play action too. But so they got legitimate outside zone out of gun,
Mm-hmm.
and which is, it's this essentially, it means the same thing for the offensive lineman when they're in gun than it would in under center. Because so many times a gun run game, like your meat and potatoes, is
Mm-hmm.
typically inside zone,
Yeah.
or like counter. So the fact that
And
everything remains the same is a good thing.
and they get an under front, which is tough angles wise when you're running outside zone, like an under G where this guy's a 2-eye. It's tough angles wise because if we're saying we're all wanting to go this way, and he's playing in the C, he's playing the force. How are we gonna combo this guy and get up here, like before he beats us down into that B gap where we're trying to kind of we're trying to run up here and then cut back up the B, and then if not cut
Mm-hmm.
back up off the A. So it's a really tricky combination deal to combo up here when he's going to be trying to stay on you, and then get this guy before he runs downhill. But you notice the chemistry between Bradford and Sundell here. I mean, it's just a very impressive work.
Yep.
And really nice awareness from Barner too, seeing that the Sam isn't screaming off the edge, so then he folds back up inside. Maybe they crack back in with Cooper Cup actually. Yeah, that's
So
cool.
this is a great example of Sundell where it was this week versus last week,
Yeah.
where on JJ Pagues, I think it was,
Mm-hmm.
he has a 2-eye. He gets front side leverage on him, but Pagues plays through him and
Right.
is able to actually um, shed and make a play on the ball. Here,
Yeah.
Sundell maintains his like vertical relationship relative to the line of scrimmage.
Doesn't get knocked back.
Doesn't get knocked back.
He gets his feet in the ground, drives his hips through the block.
That's crazy, man. Crazy body reshaping, and
Yeah.
never loses his power.
And unfortunately, Zabel gets tripped here by this nose. Otherwise, he's probably making that block, and we're getting more yards here because it would go up here. You can see how they're blocked. But anyway, these things happen. It's football, and
And
again,
they,
Charbonnet doing a pretty good job there. You can see the blocking on the perimeter. What they like about Cooper Cup is his ability to be able to find guys into the inside. Pretty good job. Valdez Scantling digging out the safety. I mean, on another day that goes for a touchdown.
sure.
That's the thing in the NFL as well. Like to emphasize, running the ball in the NFL is very difficult. So the fact that the Seahawks were able to do it so impressively. Here, 13 personnel, so one running back, 3 tight ends, and they catch them in cover 0, right, Griff? And
Hmm.
Uh, the Kansas City have issues here, but still, like good execution.
Yeah. Um, so they hit that crease up the C gap
C,
again
yeah,
inside the. Wait, first off, what's the run concept? Is it
it's like
inside
split
zone,
zone.
split zone, inside zone?
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty good horizontal push, horizontal displacement,
Yep, to it from
and
Zabel.
yeah,
Great hand placement.
dude, the Chiefs are just like I don't know what they're doing. Um, like they play this so poorly.
Well, like cover zero doesn't help, but yeah.
No, no, not at all. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's kind of proof like you got to be careful against Seattle when they really put bodies on the line of scrimmage. You got to really be conservative because creases will be there.
Yeah, and you think Arroyo claims this as a pancake? I mean, it's not really, is it? Because the guy's trying to make the tackle, but
He'll probably try to. I
just a
would.
little point about the system though, having like sort of answers. Just this little deal from wait, that's Sorba, isn't it? Yeah, it was Sorba who got the pancake because that's
Oh,
Arroyo.
81, yeah,
81 and
right.
18 are throwing me for a loop. Um, but this little flat release
Mm-hmm.
is so effective at opening up that C area. Like it kind of knows that they're in man. Now, if they're gonna play like that, you know, all these moving parts to cause confusion for the man coverage. As soon as this guy didn't fall back into here with this, like it's over. Like they have no one here, and we're blocking on this guy. So
All right, this is another fun one. So Sundell, I mean, it goes right into the front side A gap. Sundell reaches the nose again.
yeah, this is crazy, right?
He comes out so fast and just puts him on his inside shoulder
Crazy.
and just rides that sucker. Zabel gets good push.
Yeah, and again, great sort of double team chemistry there, Jones and Zabel. It's a shame Cross isn't in to be getting some of these chemistry benefits.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really cool to have seen, you know, it's 2 games now and obviously a lot more practice time, but they're really kind of coming together as a run blocking unit.
And yeah, for sure. And also Bradford helps make this too because the Mike or the Will would have to push over the nose to correct him as the nose gets reached.
Yep,
The Will has to get into that front side A gap, but
yep.
Bradford's ability to get to him is really impressive.
Mm. There's also such a clarity, right, of between guys of Bradford knows that he's going here the whole time. He knows that Lucas is getting this guy. Like, there's no hesitation. Like, they're running their track, they're running on that same path, and they know who's getting the lineman and who's going for the second level, and if they need the help or if they don't need the help, and yeah, just that clarity is night and day from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so quite exciting. Right, very similar play here, right? They got
Mm-hmm.
the split action going on, but
4-man front again, or last time it was a 5-man front. This time
yeah,
it's more of a 4-3 stack, and Sundell just creating a lot of width again. And then you see Lucas using the slingshot technique.
yeah, use the momentum against him.
And I don't know when officials decide to call that versus not.
Like, cool as a hold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like if you do it around the shoulders, they don't call it, but if you do it around the hip, they do call it.
Right. There's a Zabel play a bit later, which isn't that, but it's another. It like could have been called as a hold, and I wonder with. I think it might be this. No, not that one. Anyway, we'll get to it. I mean, just what?
I mean, have you ever seen Bradford move like this before?
No, it's crazy, right? He's so improved. Even last week, he really impressed me. But
Yep.
like, he's going to work right now. I mean, look at the path the fullback has. Like, the fullback's running through the the tight end area, but like, look how much the B gap opens up for the fullback.
Yeah.
It's like a B and a C gap for the fullback to run through, just wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, this is actually a good illustration of Sundell. Some of the things he'll deal with. So it's quick game. So he's quick setting, right? Because it's quick game.
Mm-hmm.
The ball should come out. It doesn't for whatever reason. Like the guy dropped weird on this side, but he's gonna have his moments. I think when he gets closer confines, guy kind of lining up tight on him. Maybe a zero tech.
Mm-hmm.
I think that will cause him some issues. That said, I mean he recovers fine here, and he even manages to knock the guy over because he kind of trips up over his other teammate, who Lucas kind of again using momentum against people snatch rip, very nice. Got him leaning. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and there's another pass protection play from the line where Bradford just looks for work and decleats someone. Like the pass pro is more physical and violent too, which is again very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
This might be so like here, Zabel's doing a pretty good job of letting guys go. But Griff, do you think it's a case a bit like how shorter corners have a bit more leeway? Do you think like shorter armed offensive linemen have a bit more leeway when it comes to how long they can stay on blocks? Because naturally their arms are closer to their body when it gets outside the frame.
I mean, you're saying, I don't know if I'm grasping the question right.
No, I
So,
don't think I'm saying it right.
so
Do you think there's more leeway for shorter armed linemen when it comes to holding penalties?
oh,
Because
holding.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
okay,
Because they might be less inclined to grab because it's because they're shorter armed,
yeah,
or it's less obvious.
yeah. This might be like here. That's a hold, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's in his neck at that point.
But it's his like bicep and elbow rather than his hand grabbing cloth, so it's harder to. I mean, it helps
Or
this guy's not even looking, but I mean, this was a big short yardage run that really that should come back on hold, but it didn't, so it's fine, and they picked it up. And then oh my god, that's
just,
crazy.
dude, what Sundell does here.
That's crazy.
But that's another example of what I'm talking about, like the footwork of the nose. Like what is he doing, man? Like
I don't
like
know if they were stunting or if he was cheating the play, but yeah, it's crazy.
but he's like they're not reading the angle of departure of the lineman at all.
Yeah, it's just
Like,
insane. They were terrible, like really bad. But
but still though, the whole point is like the Seahawks have had centers that did not take advantage of that in the past, right?
correct. Um, and I guess that can be enough. But I want to find the Bradford clip in Pass Pro. You know the one I'm talking about.
Um,
It would be like a drop. Maybe it's coming up. Oh, and then here, like, look at the. It's a cool play design, but look at the line getting out so fast here, and yeah,
Yeah, scheme or screen execution's kind of a vibe check for like what team is just more put together than the other from almost a choreography standpoint,
right.
a facet of execution. And yeah, the Seahawks are just way ahead of the Chiefs, which is strange because the Chiefs are like choreography is like their thing, you know.
Ah, yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
This is my point about offensive line play and pass protection being a violent act still. Like here, Bradford's to the slide, so they're helping Sundell out by sort of going 2-on-1 on the nose, which is smart. But then Bradford realizes, hey, you know what? We got that kind of secure. Maybe I can go help out my teammate here. Like I don't need to be a robot. There's not much push going on, and also this is perfectly legal. But it's really unfair if you're the edge because you're having to rush a guy. It's very late in the down. Basically a blindside block. You're not expecting it, but it's football. It's a violent sport, and you know, is that Karloftis?
yeah.
Anyway, maybe not though. That's like a 6. Maybe not. Anyway, regardless, it's an opportunity to go and take the wind, knock the crap out of like a star pass rusher, like, and help your tackle out by just doing this, which is fantastic. Like you're setting the tone. You are being the bullies, and like fantastic work. And again, stuff like this wasn't happening, and
Totally.
and like kind of quick game to intermediate stuff is where there are these opportunities where ball's coming out a bit quicker. You're to the slide. Is later in the down. Go and get someone. Go and look for work.
Yeah. I kind of wish Darnold would have held his stance just a tick longer to see
And
if
thrown the dig. Yeah.
see if the dig would come out. But
yeah. He's playing on time.
he's playing on time, and I think the principle of is stay ahead of schedule because that
Yep.
keeps them in their run pass down and distance.
2nd and 6, right? And
Yeah.
as we said, this offense will always cook there. So Griff, overall, we're very happy with the offensive line.
Yeah.
Obviously, the cautionary stuff we spoke about, and like I think you pointed out that their yards per carry in 2024 preseason was very high in a certain game. Like,
yeah, but on low volume and like, explosive gun runs off of a 2x2 spread open look, where the defense has like trotted out all their light defensive linemen. I still don't know how good they're going to be as a run blocking unit. But they've checked off a lot of boxes this early in the process that you'd want to see checked off this early in the process. So they're organized. They have a clear idea of what they want to do. They have good chemistry. The rest is just how do they move bodies when they go up against a D line that is of equal cohesion, right?
yeah, and like again, it's not a bash on Sundell. It's just recognizing his strengths and weaknesses. Like, how does Kubiak and co keep helping him in the situations that you want to avoid with him?
Right.
Like, how do they stay varied in their pass pro or like, ahead of the chains to just help everyone out, basically. Yeah, so I mean that's something to look forward to, given what we're seeing from them right now. Like, I have faith that they'll find some cool answers. All right, so Griff, it was the first showing of Sam Darnold, and
Was that Freudian or?
well, hopefully not, right? Or no, yeah, hopefully not. Yeah, what do you think of Darnold?
We didn't get anything, right? The pass game is still super buttoned up. They've been protecting. They haven't just been protecting the quarterback. They've been protecting the entire pass unit by only throwing out of run situations and or like run heavy looks. Even when they do access their pure dropbacks, it's been at a lot of under center. And then when they're in shotgun, it's mostly been quick game, which also protects the quarterback and the O-line because it's easier to protect forward. It's simpler. So the objective will be to stay in those circumstances as much as possible to preempt the purported weaknesses of the unit. But they're not going to always succeed in doing that. There's going to be a game where, they're put behind the sticks a little bit, or they can't get off the ground on 1st and 10. So we just need to see more. Plus, Kubiak is not showing all of his concepts and how he plans to dress everything up. I feel like if we were to characterize, if they can produce positive gains on 1st and 10, they'll have an above average series conversion rate. Well, they will eventually go on to produce a first down. But if they gain fewer than, say, 2 or 3 yards on 1st and 10, their series conversion rate on those series will be well below average. So it'll be kind of I think this offense will be Jekyll and Hyde depending on how first down goes. So 2nd and 7 or better, pretty confident, but it means winning on 1st and 10. So, and I think defenses will game plan first downs really hard as well against this group. So that'll be a fun battle to see.
Yep, indeed. And I mentioned it, but also kind of on the point of not seeing much of the passing game, we've only really seen them come out with JSN and Cooper Kupp on the field in the tight split stuff. Like, I'm still interested to see what Kupp's snap share is going to be with Marquez Valdes-Scantling, and how much tight split stuff can they do with the pair of those guys, and or how much of JSN is like the quote unquote X can we see in 2 wide receiver stuff compared to putting Marquez Valdes-Scantling on the field or even Torrey Horton and whatnot. With that, keeping in mind that when they're in the base stuff, they're going to be largely 2 wide receivers on the field only at a time. So, yeah, interested to monitor that. So, Griff, we saw less of Jaylen Milro, which is a bit disappointing given he's a very exciting young player, but perhaps it spoke of the procedural issues that Mike McDonald mentioned after the game, the first preseason game. I mean, what was... are you reading much into that? And what did you make of Milro when he was on the field, which was basically for, 5 minutes of the third and then the rest of the game?
And then he didn't really get to throw it. I think it's just...
raining.
Yeah, parsing McDonald's comments, it's clear that he's just quarterback 3 right now. They're not putting any pressure on him. Obviously, that they have a plan for him in short yardage and probably goal line.
Imagine if they could tush push, that would be huge. Like, if they could actually tush push like the Eagles, that would be changer, right?
Definitely.
It was interesting in that they had Darnold stay on the field. Like, I don't know how much to read into that, but 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends, 2 running backs. Like, that's an interesting package. Like, having Darnold be the deep guy rather than I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was cool. Because it makes you wonder, what if they decide to shift out, go into empty, put Milro out at like the 1 receiver, put Darnold back under center? They can do all sorts of things with it. Additionally, when he actually played quarterback, the one throw on the out route was cool when he identified the coverage and got rid of the ball early. The rest of it was just kind of more of the same, where kind of inconsequential.
Yeah.
And, but he just needs reps, and I think it's fair to have a optimistic view of him, but you just kind of have to have a long-term mindset probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did you make of it?
I just want to see the 3rd preseason game where he'll surely play at least a half of football, maybe more. Like, Drew Lock played fine this game. Maybe missed a couple of things you'd want him to hit, but he looked like a veteran quarterback. And yeah, I just want to see more of Milro. And it's difficult as well because, these guys need snaps to develop, and it's how do you find those snaps in real football? You're not going to. So, yeah, big 3rd preseason game for him, where I'm sure there will be ramping stuff up for him from like a game plan perspective too. And hopefully it can evolve into where there's maybe clearly like the short yardage idea with him, but also maybe there could be like a package or two which leans on his legs more. I don't know. I don't know how feasible that is.
Hmm.
But obviously, my mind goes there with. I'm not. I'm not saying Miller is not a quarterback. Of course, he's a quarterback, but there's things you can do with a different quarterback like that. And my mind goes to what Kubiak did with Taysom Hill, who is obviously not as good a quarterback as Jaylen Milro, but he has a similar dynamism. If anything, less dynamic in some ways, maybe more physical. But anyway, right. Defense, Griff, our favorite thing. Do we want to start with our favorite player to talk about?
We might as well. He's the most intriguing player. So
Nick Emmanwar is fascinating, right? Like we said in the last pod after Dan Veen's of Seahawks Forever like tweeted out that he was working at will linebacker. We were like, oh, maybe in this game we see him as a dime safety slash linebacker lining up where the will would, taking the will off the field. And then like there's 4 snaps of him doing it, including on a 2nd and 7, where they're just like, okay, Nick, now's your time.
yeah,
Which that's cool, but
which
predominantly still, yeah.
you'll go ahead.
Well, predominantly, I was just going to say still a nickel game for him,
Hmm.
and we saw a bit more of him, so I guess we should
Yeah,
probably watch the tape of that.
yeah. So I mean, he was drafted as a safety, like in base defense. That's what Mike says, but they got to find snaps for him. So he's a nickel, and also playing some dime is like part of the job description of any safety. If you have a dime package, so he's doing all the things a will would do in those snaps. It's just a different, more of a pass situation. Um, and so for coverage purposes, now that said, like they didn't use him in any interesting ways. He was just a flat defender. So it's like they just want a fast athlete out on the field. Seems to be the ethos behind it. It doesn't actually change their scheme, where the will doesn't do very much in the scheme coverage wise. But still, so I think before we like get into the film,
Mm.
overall, it was kind of the same impressions as week 1, just on a slightly larger scale because he had more snaps. So there was a little bit of slightly good stuff, and then a
Mm.
little bit of slightly bad stuff, and then a whole lot of just like doesn't really tell you anything in either way, you know.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Drift. The main difference for me is we saw some of the slightly bad stuff actually become realized because the ball went his way,
right.
and we saw some of the good stuff also become realized because they were looking to throw the ball his way. So he got more opportunities to kind of prove what we were uh, not 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 guessing, but having to sort of project. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was nice and then not nice to see it. But I also what fantastic learning opportunities for him heading into game 3, and also for the Seahawks coaching staff of, hey, this is what this guy's struggling at right now. We need to get him up to speed on that. And this is what we feel good about this guy coming in to real football day 1, actually asking him to do.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So here he is playing in the nickel role. The Seahawks in nickel defense and playing like a middle field open type deal. Is this?
Looks like quarters. Could be cover 6, probably quarters. Oh, it's quarters.
Yeah, I think
Um,
Spoon's just a maniac, right?
yep.
Um, Obviously it's a false start.
Actually, you might be. That kind of seems cover 2ish a little bit actually,
You think
like half quarter quarter. I,
half?
I,
Yeah,
I,
half at the top, reading.
I'm looking at Kobe's footwork,
Yeah, like gaining the width.
but then again, he reads number 2 kind of block a little bit, so he's just I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, tiny bit slow, probably fine. Good, very good hand placement there,
hmm,
and good football position, and good, nice jab. Anyway, next play. This is one of his best reps, and we've theorized how him being taught like sail technique, which is the technique he's going to use here, is
hmm,
really going to benefit his game. Now he gets like the ideal route combination to show this off, right? He gets 3 flat. Um, he fills 2. Wait, hold on. Yeah, he gets 3 kind of slow flat. He fills 2 vertical. And he sees quarterback looking hard outside. So it's like every indicator to Sale.
Yep.
There's nothing really kind of conflicting him here.
Nope.
But still, maybe you'd like a slightly quicker hip flip, but I
The
think it's pretty
gaining
smooth.
width into a pedal, into swinging the hips open, butt to the sideline. I mean, that's pretty.
Pretty buttery.
And then he peeks back at the quarterback. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's pretty
he
nice,
he
right?
covers this up completely. So that was the underneath zone awareness of when routes are kind of going over the top of him and trying to put the picture together was really uneven at South Carolina. So this is a really good snap.
Yeah.
Um,
You
in
saw
showing that.
flashes of it at South Carolina. If he can do this now consistently and in this kind of NFL slash like what is viable in the NFL in like cover 3, for instance, which is what this is, wow, like that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so one of his better reps. You see, it kind of kills the primary concept for Minshew. The Seahawks running a sim pressure here where they're dropping Derek Hall into the strong hook, and he kind of expands out, and yeah, you're not throwing the ball to this flood. Like, everyone's covered. Now we have the Seahawks running Griff. I think this is one funnel, right? So there's a bit for them to process. A great instance of this being one funnel, actually, before we actually look at what happened on the play, is Patrick O'Connell, who was playing at will, and we'll talk about him in a bit later, but you can see how he's communicating with Julian Love, who's the down safety on this play. Like, hey, look, there's a tight cluster here. There's also the back, and you just see O'Connell's eye progression on this play where he's pointing here, then he's looking at the back, and we'll just ignore Emmanwar for a second, but you can see how O'Connell reads the back, then checks this guy's not coming shallow fast, because if he were, he would cut that, and Julian Love would replace him. Then he gets because the back's out this side, Ernest Jones is covering him, O'Connell's not got this to cut, so O'Connell knows he's the rat. So you then see him process, where's the quarterback looking? Am I getting a low crosser from this side of the field to cut as the rat? No, I'm not. I'll just play here. So essentially, some processing for these two guys and this guy on the back, and then this guy has to take the back if he goes this way.
Right. So our man here. Oh, let me let my dog in really quick. You
So
can go.
our man Emmanwar has to be aware that, like, depending on how these guys release, he might have to take a different guy. But the releases that they get from the line are very simple for Emmanwar, in that his guy goes vertical, and both these other guys are not a threat to him. So he knows he's on this guy. And I think for me, the issues come with how he catches that route, the fact that his body gets kind of turned around here, and then you kind of want you in a turned around position. That, it can happen, but there's the lack of the agility at the top of the route, along with the slight push off, and if they push, you can kind of pull onto that arm as they push. So there's kind of some savvy elements there. But it's pretty remarkable how much that drifts as the route separates across the field. Even with the recovery speed, it's like a quite significant distance. And it's in this situation where he's playing tighter to the line, and we theorize that might be better for him. But, it's just one play. We don't want to overreact to this.
I had said that when he's in phase with the receiver, which he is right here,
Yeah,
that they tend to not get away from him. But of course, then it happens. But I think, yeah, that little shimmy where the tight end kind of freezes at the top of the route a little bit. So I think he does well here at this point. He's got
absorb the contact, like play outside leverage. Ideally he'd want to be a bit more over the top of that, squeezing it down, right?
And I think the reason why he gets frozen and then kind of stumbles at the top one is an agility issue. But I think even before that, he's not really feeling the hip well of what the tight end's doing.
His eyes are so high.
Yeah. So I wonder what he's keying through the
looking
route.
Back at the quarterback right now.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He's no longer like locked into what the actual receiver is doing at that point.
Yeah. he should be kind of here with his eyes here or here, right?
Mm-hmm. So then he loses them at the top, and then you see like when his eyes are wrong, he's always going to lose the rep. So
Yeah.
so it kind of goes back to our overall theme, like fix the eye progression first, and then everything else can theoretically fall into place. Um, and then
Yeah.
we also see how pass rush protects him a little bit, because had that ball come out on time, that would be a first down conversion, because the receiver ends up bending his route way down.
Yeah, like the little flash here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the receiver has to run back to the quarterback, as you're saying, Griff. All right, so there's a few things here. So the Seahawks right there look like they're playing maybe two-man or some type of four, right? But they
Mm-hmm.
look like they're playing a split safety defense where he's going to be predominantly probably basically playing like man on this back, right? And then after the motion, you can see Woolen checks, Julian Love's paying attention, Kobe Bryant's very in tune to that he's patting his hands like he's going to buzz down into something. And you can see Emmanwar is communicating it somewhat with Reek. Reek's still trying to get him the check. Emmanwar is looking back like, okay, and like I don't know why it took him.
Yeah.
Like he was fine after that one, but he sort of seemed to doubt what was happening there.
Right.
And what ends up happening is the Seahawks check into three buzz where Hook, deep third, so it's cover three. Reek Woolen's got the third. Emmanwar, he's a curl flat player, right? But as you can see from Spoon at the bottom of the screen, if you're like the nickel, how the Seahawks play that. I should also have mentioned this is dime defense. So here he's lining up where the Will would, the nickel is Spoon on the play, Job's on the field along with Reek Woolen. So 6 DBs. So if you're the nickel on these types of plays, you tend to stay super tight to the number 2, and you can see how at the bottom of the screen it plays out basically like man-to-man defense, where the corner's going to play all of 1,
Mm-hmm.
and the nickel's going to play all of 2, and mirror that's them inside, and there's no like dropping to the outside underneath, like almost drop to a spot type stuff, right?
Right.
But here, Emmanwar,
He just doesn't understand that he's the flat defender. He probably thinks he's a curl defender. It's possible he thinks he actually has a match on 2, and
I
he
think
does.
he might.
But even then, you have a fast 3, not a slow 3. So
Right.
you become a curl flat defender. You need to zone it instead of being a match player.
Right, and that for me, Griff's the other thing. Like, we won't be able to see it on this angle, but I don't think Emmanwar ever really remembers that this guy is a problem. Like, he just very much plays these two. And, like, formationally, chat, whenever you get 1, 2, 3 guys to the short side of the field and they're tight splits, that for all intents and purposes is a bunch. Like, it's a trio of receivers bunched up, meaning it's very common for offenses to run some type of 3-man combination where this guy is going to be fast into the flat, meaning we kind of need to push our coverage distribution out to that, because ultimately you have 2 underneath guys on that side of the field, and they're putting 3 guys out to that outside and underneath fairly fast and stretching this guy off. So it's like a couple of things. Like South Carolina, the more moving parts there were, Griff, the worse things got for Emmanwar. We saw him late checking on the film we watched as well. It's also one of his first games in the NFL with playing with Woolen this time, a new guy with bullets flying, and in a dime position rather than nickel. So there might be some subtle differences with how that they check stuff. I don't know, but yeah, obviously it's his play to make with the check. A couple of things went wrong there for it not to happen. Yeah, and there's no reason that can't get cleaned up. But you can see here his eyes never really are cognizant of 3 out into the flat either. And also tellingly, we're not going to get the full thing, but if you go back and watch the broadcast, guys, Kobe Bryant's wanting to sort of coach him up and Woolen up and sort of understand what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But they were really trying to help him out on the field during these moments.
This was a screen, or did this get handed off? Oh, it was the RPO. I liked how he played through the block here and really took initiative.
Yeah, much better football position again. Actually demolishing a block. This is the type of physicality he needs. So
Yep. Like there's it should look like that way more often. So it's good to see that from him, to have just the mentality that he wants to come downhill like that.
yeah, agreed. Not on the field here.
Nope.
Not on the field here. On the field here. This was an interesting one. I think they bust again because on the motion, he's playing nickel again. On the motion, he runs around with this, and you can see how. Oh no, maybe it's not a bust. Maybe they're just wanting to play 3 here, right? Like 3 over 3 and play cover 1.
Yeah, I could see that. Would explain the motion maybe too, but
It was interesting again how Kobe kind of talks to him. Again, you don't see it, but on the broadcast you see it. Kobe starts talking to him afterwards. I wonder if he was meant to just bump these guys here and bump in. Like the linebackers don't seem to.
because that's often what they do, where they just bump the nickel in and then
Yeah.
push the mic out,
But then they did play more like. I mean, we don't
or
know if
the
it was
will.
man, but he plays like he's in man, so I don't know. Again, moving parts needs to be cleaned up a bit. And then Griffin, this is like crazy value. This to be able to do this type of stuff. Now, this close together, having both guys at the same level is kind of scary because you think they might get rub rooted.
Yep.
And in a real game, maybe they would tighten up a bit to try and make that happen. They actually do try and make it happen still. But Griff, this is like impressive transition stuff.
Yeah.
He's all over that.
Yep. He doesn't give it any air. He doesn't over pursue the quick out. The threat of a quick out.
Great kind of path to dip under, right?
Yep. High and on top.
Yeah.
Or inside and on top.
Yeah. Easy.
Woolen was all over that.
He was. That was crazy, right? His ability to undercut crosses is so nuts.
It might be peak, honestly. Like it might be like all time stuff at that specific aspect.
This was again interesting, like moving parts. I don't know exactly what pressure this is because it's kind of weird how it's like the line thinks that this guy's going, but this guy goes. Like, because why would they stunt down like that? But then, if we like end up with 2 guys in the same gap, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really get the well, the second, with the pressure. I mean, maybe he wasn't was that Drake Thomas? Maybe he's not supposed to punch through like that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he's meant to go off here.
Because the rotation, the safety spin doesn't really make sense with it.
Well, they do like to cap that pressure with a safety spin, but it's like.
But they're usually capping the nickel though, the slot.
Yeah. I don't know. Seems like a bust off the change of strength, right? Because they. I don't know. But from an Emmanwar perspective, maybe he was meant to do something a bit different here as well. I don't. They kind of just blocked out the play, but it's not really his play to make it by the point that happens. So
Yeah.
and then this is kind of the vision for him. Like again, start him close in the slot, and then you can use him as a blitzer, where nice creeping down with the cadence. And I mean, he's going to be unblocked off the edge, but he's really quick and he's long, so he can kind of get there.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, and trying to add the nickel to the run fit as much as possible, as frequently as possible, will help. So with his speed, he'll definitely chase some things down backside.
Same pressed up alignment again in the slot, and I mean, very good patience from him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, perfectly in control. Doesn't really bite on the stutter. I mean, that's basically textbook, even though the ball doesn't go there.
Yeah, and I thought it was a weird route from the receiver, but still the technique.
I think the receiver just knew he wasn't getting the ball,
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, just kind of another example of Emmanwar being what I think we feel like is his wheelhouse.
Yeah. And then I
run play.
I don't love it, but it's fine. Run away.
What are you not liking? Are you wanting him to realize it's a run?
Well, and just go knock someone off.
Yeah.
Knock someone over.
Yeah.
Like, that guy's tiny. Anyway. And then good communication of the checks. You can see he taps his helmet, which is kind of telling them that he's going to play tight on this guy. Backside of cover 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like how he doesn't immediately zoom down. I like how he's gaining the leverage with that route, but he's holding depth to like be somewhat of a presence in this window. And then I like how he converges down as the quarterback starts getting in the trap to the check down. Good job. And really good recognition of, checking and being accountable and recognizing that receiver set, how tight those two guys were, and the fact it was just one receiver and a back.
Mm-hmm.
And then a very similar assignment here with a different receiving split, but good job looking along to see how wide the one is compared to the last snap. And nothing to say about that rep.
Right.
So, and then this play, which Griff, I noticed he didn't cross over here. He's actually staying a bit squarer in the box, and he's not clicking his heels too badly. Still a bit clunky, but better. He gets like guard pull in his short yardage. You would like him to play more downhill with more assertiveness. Like at a certain point, you need to get involved.
A little tough when it just clumps up like that in the middle, but
yeah.
I mean, if the ball were to kind of bend backside a little or cut back a little bit, I don't know, maybe you want him to stay attached to his gap, which is kind of that backside gap, but it's fine.
And then I think that was it.
I think that was it, yeah.
So interesting times.
Yeah. We just need more. Like, I hope that he plays a lot against Green Bay, especially with their scheme. And again, it'll be vanilla, but they do like to run the ball.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I think he really needs reps with starters as well, which obviously isn't going to happen in Green Bay. But maybe you just have to do that in practice and then the regular season.
Right.
Anyway, right. So Griff, anything else with the defense? I guess.
I don't think so. Well,
there were there's a couple of things, right?
I think Boye Mafe, his run defense looked really stout.
Yep.
Another year of growth from him.
Had a nice up and under on like BS gun zone where he like stacked the guy and then just ripped through to the inside on the front side of it.
Totally. Axel asks in the chat thoughts on Peely. I like Peely. I think
I really like Peely.
Mm-hmm.
Big, quick, working as a 3-tech 2, like gap and a half stuff, low pads, got the safety.
Yeah, man. He's a good, and he could play the 1 and 3.
Right. He makes Hankins' position obviously still injured, right?
Yeah.
He puts Hankins under threat, like just from the fact that he's 26 and he will not. He's I can't imagine what his contract looks like. He was claimed
Hmm.
off waivers, then waived 5 days later, re-signed to the practice squad. Like he's not going to be um, too expensive, right? But yeah, he strikes guys. He has short arms, Griff, which I don't know. Maybe that I think it just means he's got good technique.
Yeah, he gets into the block quick. That foot gets up and down quick.
Yeah.
Um, uh, it's stupid to kind of. I mean, this is how it goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Preseason, if a player you like does well, great. If a player you like doesn't do well, it's just preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think we're expecting a big jump from Byron Murphy this year. Everyone is not
Did
good
Griff?
reps, just to be superficial.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I won't say concerning because I suspect he'll turn it up in preseason, but the reps in of themselves haven't been. A couple of them haven't been great. I was
I'm
hoping he'd do something really splashy, but I don't know. Did you have a take there?
I'm very concerned.
Okay, all right, go on.
I'm trying not to freak out because
On Murphy.
like I know what he is. Like I know he's incredibly quick in short areas. I know he can bend the knee on doubles sometimes to survive and thrive even and split doubles at times and do really good stuff. He had a great pass rush rep where he like works the angles on the guard. He's one on one. Oh no, he's to the slide I think. So even more impressive. And he like manages to kind of stab and rip through on the guard and win around the corner, get a very quick pressure on the quarterback. Like I think he brings a lot of juice as a pass rusher still. But like they're asking him a lot of the time to play heavy to a guard, either as a 2-eye or 3, and knock back and play gap and half stuff, and like anchor in against combos. Um, and he can't. It's just not his game. Like it's not his skill set. It's not his strength. So, like, mate, I'm yeah, I'm trying not to freak out too much, but the contrast from obviously completely different body type in Peely compared to Murphy is like night and day though. Like Peely looks even better because of how much Murphy was struggling to do anything,
Yeah,
particularly when
yeah,
comboed. Like he was getting moved back like really bad, really really bad. And like he'd almost be more suited in like a gap shooting attack where he gets the stunt more, or just get upfield and go and attack one gap rather than this kind of gap and a half, or
yeah,
quasi two gapping style. That's not to say he can't do it at times. He definitely can, but it's kind of like remember how Puna Ford had his difficulties when they tried to do gap and a half
yeah,
technique and
yeah,
play with 6 guys in the box. Like it's similar type struggles where it's not really the player's fault. It's more the schematic usage, and so maybe for Murphy, it's you drop the knee. You occasionally get moved back a bit when you get comboed by just striking a guy. Um, but then also, we need to find ways to actually stunt you into plays and use your strengths a bit more.
yeah. You
Am I
know,
off?
no, I don't think
Do I
so.
need to relax?
I'd love to see him as a lag nose and in a penny package, a zero,
Meaning
a zero technique
head
where
up
he
on the
just
center.
head up on the center, but he's kind of really one gapping because he's even if he's mirror stepping, he's playing the backside A gap. That guard has to reach a zero. He's going to
He's
get front set on it
he's
every time.
he's mainly going to be like one on one with that center. Given there's going to be 4 other guys down in the line with him, and yeah, he'll be able to squeeze through the A if the guard does come combo him.
Yeah. And I'd also like to see him as a power stepping 3 technique in a bear front too. But um, anyway, uh, yeah, I think if you want, he has a lot of uses, and there will be circumstances where the just the sheer lack of or the lack of sheer mass catches up with him. But if you want to unlock him, he needs to be one gapping, power stepping,
Mm-hmm.
and in the B gap as much as possible. If you want to get first round production out of him, which I think he can do. Again, the regular season hasn't happened yet. He still has use as a 2-eye, still has use as a nose and the gap and a half stuff, as you were saying. But yeah, the splashy stuff, I think we really want to look for that this year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So again, like a good challenge for the coaching staff to get the most out of him. Um,
Yeah,
Reek Wollengriff looks incredibly locked in. Like he's rallying to the run. Like he's technique wise is kind of impeccable right now. So
yep,
is his contract year? Yeah, I think he's gonna have a career year. I think he's gonna absolutely ball out this year. That's my take, based off
yeah, yeah.
like what
It,
12 snaps.
it'll be this forecasted or this prophesized Reek Woolen final form.
He'll like
Um,
become like highest paid corner.
yeah, I mean the dude is really good. He's already really good. He doesn't need to get
Mm,
better to not make your team extremely good, but he's going
yeah,
to get even better.
for me, it's just like he's just dialed like the focus. Again, he's not playing 4 quarters here, but just the focus and attentions to details, and also just checking things and being like that type of leader on the field. It just seems like it's happening, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Uh, Griff, what did you think of the linebackers? We had some concerns.
Oh yeah.
Uh, you were very disparaging about Drake Thomas. I think you said he was terrible
I think I
last
said
game.
abysmal, terrible.
Abysmal, yeah,
Yeah.
atrocious.
I thought he played a little bit better this game, just a little
Oh,
more
that's good.
controlled.
Well, a little bit better than terrible and atrocious and abysmal.
So he flowed in the run game more succinctly, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he had some reps in coverage that were like, all right, that's way more controlled than last week. His propensity to bite on everything, the first thing he sees, is just like really rough. And he's so fast, so like
He just goes.
he gains so much ground in the wrong direction so often.
Yeah.
So like to correct himself, it's like, oh, he has a long ways to go to get back on track. But this week, I think the game like slowed down for him a little bit,
Whoa.
and
Wow.
just a smidge. But I still, if they had to, if Tyrese Knight can't go, O'Connell needs to be the first guy out there, like by far.
This guy can play. What was
O'Connell's
it?
pretty good.
Was it like 3 seasons ago in the preseason where you're like, whoa, who's this guy? Like
Yeah.
this guy can play linebacker.
Who's this Cody Barton variant?
Yeah, is that
No,
Cody? No.
his game's way different than Cody, but
Eh.
he I mean Cody's a way better athlete than O'Connell. O'Connell's just like really to the point in the box, I think.
All of his reads are right. All of his plays are right. Like he's got
Yeah,
coverage awareness. He gets to the ball. Like
he gets the
he
ball.
just lacks some hit power when it like he ran through a hole and met a running back and he couldn't really meet the running back on his own. It's that type of you can't really stand the guy up in the hole without like a big running start. Which like that's an elite trait to have.
Hmm.
And yeah, he's just very solid will depth, and if he has to start a few games we had an update on the Tyrese Knight situation from McDonald today, which is basically no real update, and there's like this undisclosed thing along with his knee ailment. So hopefully Knight's okay. So best thoughts to him. But yeah, if O'Connor has to start a few games, he'll be fine. Is my take.
Yeah,
But you might see an occasional play strength thing where you're like, oh, or you might see him, yeah, just look like a depth linebacker. But yeah, that's fine. I think the real issue still, like Drake Thomas made some good stuff happen, but like it's more not even a depth comment. It's more like it'd just be nice to have a Mike who could fly. Like they just don't have a Mike who can
yeah,
fly, and
yeah.
that's
Well,
what the best defenses tend to have,
yeah,
and they don't have
and
that. So
we really like Ernest. Derek
yeah,
Jackson, I liked him a lot in the draft. He looked a lot better this week. A little more a little more confident, a little more urgency in the run game. Like last week, he didn't key things wrong in the run game. He just was very like hesitant, and that would have been the
going
last.
fast.
Yeah, and that would have been the last word I would have used to describe him at Kentucky. So he seemed a little more to the point in the run game this week. Again, didn't do anything splashy, but just kind of the nuts and bolts of his process. And then in coverage, like matching routes, roboting, or panic dropping, as Pete Carroll calls it. Um, he had a final 3 match on a receiver detached from the slot, so that's just pure speed versus speed, and he covered the guy all the way until the ball came out. So that was pretty impressive, kind of flashing that kind of, the upper end traits that he possesses, which I thought I saw at Kentucky. So he's a guy that probably doesn't make any noise this year. If he were to make the team, he might be practice squad. Maybe he can push the second string next year if he can stick around. But I suspect that I think it's interesting that McDonald wants him at Mike and not like you're just one of the Wills, They kind of don't have a third Will, do they? Like officially. Like it's Knight, it's
hold on,
Thomas
Jamie
and yeah, and he's
he
like
was
a
playing, though.
convert. Yeah, I know, but that's not
and
real.
that was
Go ahead. What?
he was trying out there.
He was, yeah. It wasn't great because he's not a weak side linebacker. This is just we need a body
he's
out
just
there.
Learning, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe something happens there. They probably like Jamie's special teams, so they want to keep him around if they can find a spot for him. But like Derek Jackson could play Will just fine, but the keeping him at Mike is, I don't know. It's interesting. So we'll see what his development arc looks like. Hopefully over the next season or two.
All right, Griff, do you want to tackle all the kind people who have given us money, or
Yes.
do you want to talk about
growth mindsets?
No, Tyler Hall.
Oh, so I don't know. Tyler Hall was another DB that kind of fourth quarter.
Well, your mic did the thing.
Did
he
it
did
do
the
it again?
Thing with the mic. Chad, what did he do? Tell him what he did. He did the thing.
Tyler Hall was another defensive back that flashed to me in the fourth quarter that I thought was of note, and maybe they got to notice him. And we will see what happens there. He might be a practice squatter. And yeah, I've got nothing else to say about that.
Yeah, but you liked his press man skills as a nickel, right?
It was off man, actually.
Oh, there you go. More like patience, reading the stem.
Footwork and his reads were like really like quiet. Like he has a quiet mind when he's out there. Just doing the right thing every time.
Hell yeah.
He seemed confident. I don't know. I'd be curious.
What do we know about this guy?
He's been on like 6 teams. Like he's definitely an August player. But I don't know. We've seen guys like that end up playing a lot.
Yeah, he's 26. Turns 27 on Halloween.
Yep.
He was with the Seahawks in 2024. Great. Okay, well, I'll keep an eye out for him. Right, donations. And chat, sorry if you've asked us questions and we haven't gotten to them, but a lot of people have been very kind. So we'll do donations, and then if we have time, we'll get to your other stuff. J-Amph, catching up from the start, excited for 2025, guys. Thank you, J-Amph. Good to see you again. Jay Smith, do you have thoughts on the day one 53-man roster, number of backs, receivers, tight ends, inside backers, linemen, and who your bubble players currently? Well, we mentioned one potentially being Hankins, given the play of Peely. I think you'd expect them maybe to carry less receivers and more backs.
Yeah, probably light at receiver and light at tight end. Or excuse me, light at inside linebacker. So they can be heavier elsewhere.
Yeah. But we will, Jay, as well, we will explore that after the game 3, like who we actually think is going to make the team. But I mean, who else is on the roster bubble, Griff? I think Job's done enough to like not lose his job and not get traded or dealt or cut, right? Like Shaquille Griffin was fine, but honestly, he's kind of just making up the numbers. Like no one's really taking that third perimeter corner type role, are they? It's going to be Job again.
Probably, yeah.
And they just play matchups with it. And then, yeah, other bubble players. Honestly, no one's really done like a bad job. Everyone, so when that happens, like no one's really getting other than like I said, Murphy had a really rough time of it, but like they're not going to get rid of Murphy. So
Right.
yeah, no one who would have been potentially expendable looks
Um,
like they're going to be expendable.
yeah. The Kyle asks tight end bubble guys between Callerup and Saubert. I don't know. I don't know how many tight ends they're going to keep, but all of them look good.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of about like BS in your practice squad, like who's going to smuggle it on, right?
right.
Agreed. Also, Barner is going to be really good this year, I think. Like he was really good last year, but this offense as well for him, oh my word, he's going to be
Yeah.
very nice.
Yep. We like Barner. Brady Russell will be really important. A second fullback type to mix in with Robbie Utes to keep their formations flexible and versatile.
See, that's a good take because like he's someone you might theorize would be cut given Oots won the fullback job, you know. So I think that's
Right.
good to remind people.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we're wrong, we'll just forget that.
Right. That's what having a growth mindset is all about.
Well, we're not there yet, Griff. What do
Oh.
you guys expect them to do with Milro this season? Oh, thank you, Ben. Also, does that help to? Also, does that to help his development? What? It's not Ben. You know, it's very nice of you to donate, but buddy, that's not a sentence.
Hey. Be kind.
Okay.
We can
You start
use
reading them
our
out then. It's not
we can
easy reading
deduce
this.
what he's trying to
It's
say.
12:15, Griff.
What does that help to do to development? Or any other thoughts on Pookie? So Jaylen Milro is Pookie, and I think he's just going to be a short yardage guy. And
Sorry. What?
what
Pookie? What?
Ben asks, or any other thoughts on Pookie? Well, what are
Is
you
that
not?
his nickname? What's
Are you having a
Pookie?
problem? Maddie, Pookie is a term of endearment for usually.
Do I come off like someone who is given terms of endearment?
What does that matter? You're not the one asking the question. You're being asked the question. You're not the one asking the question.
But what is on Pookie?
Okay, Jaylen Milro. Think of Pookie as an equivalent expression. So Pookie is equal to Jaylen Milro. So, or any other thoughts on X, where X equals Jaylen Milro, Pookie equals Jaylen Milro? Okay, so you're having a hard time understanding what I'm saying. Growth mindsets are about, I can't do this right now. I might be able to do it later.
No, hold on. We didn't answer the question.
Maybe we should answer the question.
Yeah.
So what do they do with
$25? Is very generous. Like
what do we do? What are they doing with Jaylen Milro? He's a short yardage package player for right now and goal line. He's probably only going to get in otherwise in blowouts. I don't know if this team will be blowing anyone out. Maybe they will. Long term, most of the development this year will probably be going on behind the scenes. So
the VR trainer.
Hopefully we see a crap ton of snaps for him against Green Bay.
I'm sure he will. And that's at Lambeau as well.
Yep, on the road.
First road game, right?
Yeah.
That's killer analysis. All right, I think. Wait, what?
Maddie, you're kind of Pookie coded. No.
Jason's like me. Wait, what? I am really confused by this. Well, I learn something new every day. Yesterday it was not that. All right, come on, Griff.
Are we done with the questions?
Well, we're done with the donation questions.
Or
we
donation.
can always answer more questions. So hold on. I'll just check for some more stuff. I think we're done with them.
Okay.
What are we doing now?
So, Maddie, Okay.